morning. It's Motivational Monday here on the Step by Step Listening page, but it's also on the YouTube channel. So please, just going to make sure I got the comments up. Please say hello. If you joined us today, please say hi. It'd be great to hear from you. So the subject today is Motivational Monday, why I lie to get what I want. There's two sides to this story, actually. The reason for it is that sometimes what we might be saying to ourselves, the feedback we might be giving ourselves may well be true, but it may not be very motivational and it may not be inspiring you to take action, and it could actually be draining you of energy. But also, sometimes the story that we're telling ourselves isn't true. We're lying. So I want to tell you about this today because my mentor asked me today on a scale of 1 to 10, how positive I was feeling. And I was like, I felt this morning when I was being asked that question about 5:30 this morning, I was like, oh, it's like a 6. And I started to say in my head, not out loud, the story of I spent all day Saturday working on something that didn't work. And then I realized I spent all day Saturday working, but I spent about an hour on this particular thing. And actually what had happened, I'd used Saturday to clear huge amounts of notes, catch up with all my clients, loads of stuff that I hadn't got around to doing because I was just in back-to-back meetings all week, which is great. Absolutely love it. But my perception of time was that I'd spent all day on this sales page, because those of you know we've got Do, Delegate or Ditch coming again on the 5th of October, and I've been over the last couple of years working and learning how to automate those processes so it streamlines and saves me time, but I'm having some technical issues with some of the software. And whilst I have a mentor and I can go to and get questions, I can't always get those questions answered quickly enough. So it feels like I've been working on it for absolutely ages. And so I've been, I was telling myself this story about time, that it was like forever. And I've been all day Saturday, and I realized that was a lie. So I also realized that I was saying to myself that it's going to take forever. And that's how it feels right now. And this is what I say about lying to get what I want. Is actually what I've had to do this week is I've had to stop worrying about or stop thinking about the automation process. I've had to put my attention on that I need to talk to people, have conversations, send some private messages, go back to the old school of talking to people, onboarding people. If it means I send them a manual invoice, if I manually add them to the group, etc. If that's what has to happen, that's what has to happen in order to provide the service. And then I'll come back to this next week. And the story that I was telling myself was, I have to make a decision. I have to decide whether or not I'm going to keep going down this road with this software, or call it a day and start with something different, or just leave it on the manual system for now. So that story wasn't serving me. And so what I've decided, prompted by my mentor, Brad Burton, who's asked me a question, I have decided that I'm just going to park that decision until next week. So I am now going to be truthful with myself that this week my focus and attention is going to be on the people that matter. So I'm sharing that with you because I want you to think about this. I'm going to be doing a series on the Facebook page here for the rest of this week at 6 o'clock till 6:15, just sharing some different aspects of time. As a coach, I listen to my clients and I'm listening to the language they use to describe time, but I'm also listening to listen whether they're saying past, present or future. And often how we experience time can be quite overlapped for some people. It can feel like the past, the present, the future is all in one kind of space. And then we can't actually process and we can't make clear decisions. And that's when we end up lying to ourselves. We end up telling ourselves stories that are not accurate, and we don't separate the time frames out. So I want you to think about now, what would you like to have happen this week? The question I always ask. And I want you to write your answer down. And then the invitation is to notice whether or not you're talking about today, whether you're talking about next week. Maybe you're talking about what you wish had happened in the past. Just notice where your attention is in terms of time. And then just also notice any feedback your system gives you. Is your critic criticizing you, or is it going, yeah, we've got all the time in the world? Now, it may feel like you don't have enough time, but we always have enough time once we've made a decision where we're going to put our attention in this moment right now. And how you give yourself feedback, how you criticize yourself and time will impact whether your brain is coming from a survival state or whether it's operating from a place of clarity and confidence. So just noticing what you're writing down. Think about then, for you to get the outcome you want, how do you need to be? And just noticing again, when you write that thing down, what's that? Is there another voice that says behind, yeah, but you haven't done that? Or that's great, you're really fantastic. Notice the criticism or the feedback that your own system is giving you. Notice if you're sort of like, yeah or no, just noticing that feedback. And then lastly, thinking about what kind of resource or support might you need. Now, the first thing I've done with my for myself is I've acknowledged that my confidence has been knocked a bit in terms of getting these sales pages going. My confidence has been knocked a bit in terms of being able to produce a really good video that's short and succinct. So I've acknowledged that. And so how I need to be this week is resilient. And the kind of resource support I needed was some of my cheerleaders, people who won't forget that they'll remind me of when I'm good at things. They'll remind me of what is working. Because when I get in a wobble moment with my confidence, that is when I tell myself lies. I tell myself I can't do it. I've never been able to do it. I've wasted all this time. And it's not true. So then I have to change that story in order to get what I want. So I'd love to hear from you. Please put your comments below. What would you like to have happen? How do you need to be? And what kind of resource or support do you need? And if you don't have the right support, please feel free to get in touch. Let's book a call. Let's have a chat, because I may not be the right support for you, but a 20-minute call may be able to help you get clarity of what kind of support you need in order to be able to change the way that you listen to and act on criticism. Because those of you that are sensitive to criticism, you will find yourself listening to stuff. It may not even people will think have directly said it. You've just read something or seen something on social media and you compared yourself. That can end up with stories you tell yourself that are lies, that are not true. And often we need somebody outside of us in order to redirect our attention. So if you know that you're getting stuck and you're not doing more of what you love and you want to ditch the critic that says you can't, please comment below. Have a fantastic week. Motivational Monday. Look forward to hearing what you'd like to have happen and how we can support you at Step by Step Listening.